Version 3.3 is just around the corner, with this version looking pretty solid, but not as fast-paced as the past updates of Sumeru, but it still looks pretty great. The big highlight of the version is the interlude chapter, as the story will have a heavy focus on the balladeer and how he becomes the wanderer. As we see many scenes of people of his past, courtesy of Irminsul and Nahida, him potentially fighting the boss of the previous version, and obtaining an animal vision and becoming the wanderer. I love how this somewhat symbolizes him facing something of his past and moving forward. From the looks of things, he will also obtain his vision during that boss fight or around that time. I love his design as a character. It takes away from his balladeer design, but it's quite a fitting change in parallel to the story, with him gaining a vision of Sumeru, the Minizuma. This may symbolize his character moving forward from his past to find new purpose, similar to Kazuha. Haruzen's design I find conflicting with her story, voice, and character, that I can't really put a proper word in how I could describe her. Her character will also run with the Phase 1 banner alongside the Wanderer. The major event of the version is Nakitsuki no Damishi, an event focusing on a test of courage and a new minigame. That reminds me of another game of my past, but I can't really put my finger on it, with some Genshin flair and elemental mechanics. Windtrace will also rerun with new locations and abilities. I hope potentially the minigame will become a permanent addition to the game. Across the Wilderness is an event where players collect orbs across various locations in Teyvat, using different abilities. This looks pretty interesting. Misty Dungeons, Realms of Sand, an event similar to Labyrinth Warriors of 2.2, which looks to be the most promising smaller event of the version. Another rerun of Leyline the Silver event has been confirmed, which will be a good way to level up the Wanderer or Haruzen if you're getting them. Another big addition to Genshin in this version is the Genius Invocation TCG game. The TCG will be playable in the Cat's Tail and Mondstadt, although I'm questioning how much Genshin will support the game after the version. The game itself is exciting, as it looks pretty in-depth, with Genshin elemental mechanics, with characters and enemies, and even bosses being in use. An event will also tie into the game, being called Battlefield of Cats, Dice, and Cards. The version is looking loaded with content, but much more slower compared to the previous versions, but it's still a solid version altogether.